Not seen to best advantage at Chester first time in a handicap when he got caught a long way back.
And then number 5 follows First Officer in the red and black.
Well, he's got history here at Newmarket on both the Rolly Mile and the July course, and he is on a winning mark.
And it looks as though Burj Zabil is going to follow for Charlie Johnston.
He needs to bounce back to form. It hasn't happened for him with headgear on his last couple of starts.
OK, back here in the paddock, as those have cleared out very quickly, number 4 is now short-circuiting the paddock and going to come past in front of us, if he will consent to. This is Secret Beach for Ben Brookhouse.
He's full of beans, isn't he? Secret Beach arrives in good form. He was a good second at Chester on his most recent outing, a winner at York earlier on in the season as well. Whether this track will suit him quite as well remains to be seen.
And then behind we have number 8, and this is Shrimp Shady for Andrew Balding,
who is the current market leader. Disappointed when well backed on his comeback run at Kempton a month or so ago. He needs to build on that.
And we've missed Kate O'Reilly, who was the first out, having her first start for James Owen. She's cleared off already under Pat Cosgrave.
Yeah, she was very highly tried in a couple of listed races, wasn't she? Starts out at a more realistic level for the new trainer.
And there is Kate O'Reilly on the way to post, as you heard from Martin, having a first start for James Owen today. Kate O'Reilly, one of the outsiders in the market. The favourite is Shrimp Shady, 11-4, 130, my kind of guy. That's the horse who's been the subject of support. Is challenging for favouritism, as we can tell, and certainly doing that on the exchanges. Did join Shrimp Shady for a brief moment. 9-2 Secret Beach, 6-1 Burj Zabil, First Officer 15-2, 9-1 bar those. Tight at the top of the market.
Yes, and Martin was advising or making a case for Chaos Control. It's a price-related case, clearly, isn't it?
Very much so, yeah. I just think he's having seen him in the paddock, I think he's fit and ready to go off his absence. He's been off for over 400 days, but he looked like he's done lots of work. The cheek pieces are on, which he often wore, well, he always wore over hurdles when we last saw him last summer, Chaos Control, and that signals a sign of intent at least, doesn't it, on his belated comeback, the fact that they've gone with the cheek pieces on. I thought he looked fit. He's won a race previously on the flat for Stuart Eddens off a £1 higher mark, so he's handicapped to be competitive. I don't think this is a particularly strong race.
Agreed.
And he's 40-1, miles bigger price than anything else in the race. And as I say, I thought he looked fit and well on his comeback.
Very capable trainer and a young rider, claiming 5, Jack Callan, who is well worth that. Shrimp Shady, you had doubts about?
At the price, really, but because he was a bit disappointing at Kempton, nothing more than that, really. But he was a well-backed favourite at Kempton. He ended up being beaten 13 lengths. Maybe he needed it more than his starting price suggested, I don't know. But he's going to have to build on that, isn't he? He's obviously a horse that's had very little racing. He's from a top stable, and you can see why he's attracted support. But I'd have wanted to see a little bit more from him at Kempton if I was backing him.
And my kind of guy ended up not being that well positioned at Chester last time. He was better than that, really.
Yeah, I think he is going to be an improver. Whether that's today or another day, we'll wait and see. But I think there's probably mileage in his mark of 74. Chester didn't get to the bottom of him last time out. He missed the break a little bit, ended up in a bad spot, and I wouldn't judge him on that. There had been some promise in his qualifying runs over a mile. He's a half-brother to Endless Time, who... Godolphin horse, won over a mile and 3/4.
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
I think he was a Godolphin horse.
I think he was too.
Yeah, and you know, there are some 1.5 mile horses plus in the family that make you think that there should be some improvement for him over this trip. He's strong in the betting now, 3-1, joint favourite with Shrimp Shady. Secret Beach ran well at Chester last time. Came from the back of the field, ran really well, won at York in comfortable fashion earlier on in the season. Does have form on the July course. Track was a little bit of a query for me for Secret Beach, but as I say, he does have a good second on the July course last year. There are positives about him. Plenty in the middle of the market there. The likes of Burj Zabil needs to bounce back to form. So does First Officer, who has run well at this track a few times. Houston, the headgear is left off today. He's had a bit of an in and out season, and Kate O'Reilly again needs to bounce back to form for James Owen. So, as I say, I thought 40 to 1 Chaos Control in a race that I wouldn't have a really strong opinion on, but I thought he looked fit and well. He's handicapped to be competitive on his best efforts on the flat, and he's a very big price field. I think he's quite a weak race.
In the circumstances, I think you make a good argument. So let us head over to Richard Hoyles to have the call for this Bud's Horse Racing Memorabilia Handicap.
Thank you, Lydia. Houston, the last one. All set for this Bud's Horse Racing Memorabilia Handicap, over 1.5 miles, and the 8 runners leave the stalls. First Officer in the White Bridle and Shrimp Shady are amongst the first 2 to show. Shrimp Shady just moving on with Burge Zabeel towards the inner. They're the first 2 to show. Shrimp Shady crossing over, sits outside Burge Zabeel as they're already heading towards the turn. Shrimp Shady a little keen. In 3rd place, My Kind of Guy ahead of Houston, who slots into 4th. First Officer in 5th. Chaos Control racing on the outside, the very pale colours of Secret Beach. Kate O'Reilly, the back marker, and they're stringing out here about 8 lengths first to last as they've made the solitary turn. They run downhill towards the final 1.5 miles, and out in the lead, Burge Zabeel. In 2nd place, Shrimp Shady, and a further couple of lengths back in 3rd to My Kind of Guy. My Kind of Guy races just ahead of Houston. Second half of the field, Chaos Control on the outside of First Officer, and the rear to Kate O'Reilly, and the very pale colours of Secret Beach. Trying to steady the pace down. Burge Zabeel under Billy Lockman, tracked by Shrimp Shady, and towards the outside, My Kind of Guy in the quartered colours races in 3rd. Houston is in 4th place as they pass the 7 furlong pole. Chaos Control comes next from First Officer. Back markers are Secret Beach in the pale colours and Kate O'Reilly. So far more compact now. The field make their way past the halfway stage. Out in the lead, Burge Zabeel by a length from Shrimp Shady, who's got some cover and has settled better now in 2nd place. My Kind of Guy disputing that position. First Officer staying towards the inside in red and black of Houston as they pass the 5 furlong pole. Then the green jacket of Chaos Control. Yellow colours trying to move forward of Kate O'Reilly, and Secret Beach the back marker. So Burge Zabeel just asked to improve the tempo a little bit. First Officer spots a gap up the inside running rail, disputing 2nd place with Shrimp Shady. Then My Kind of Guy in 4th. Houston in 5th, Kate O'Reilly. Then behind these we have Secret Beach and Chaos Control flat out at the back of the field as they make their way inside the 3. Shrimp Shady and My Kind of Guy now move through to dispute the lead. On the inside is Burge Zabeel. First Officer's run out of room on that inside running rail. Down the outside, the likes of Secret Beach making good progress as they make their way now uphill towards the final furlong or so. It's wide open. First Officer got that split up the running rail. But Secret Beach down the outside, Houston between them. Those 3 have now moved on, and it's Secret Beach under John Egan, who's moved to a narrow lead from Houston and First Officer. Secret Beach pressed close home by Houston, gets close. It is close between Secret Beach and Houston. 3rd for First Officer, and they pulled clear of in 4th place Kate O'Reilly.
Well, it appears as if Secret Beach has just got the verdict ahead of Houston and First Officer. John Egan on the near side on Secret Beach, Tom Marquand in the middle, and far side Alexandra Egan on First Officer. Father and daughter, 1st and 3rd. It appears as if Secret Beach has got it. It is close. We will wait for the official verdict on that evidence. It looks as if it is Secret Beach, although Houston made it